Good morning, everyone. This is the lecture for the final exam for this semester. You will have 1 week to complete it. The assignment page is going to be locked on May 6th at 9 a.m. So you have 1 week to complete it. I have to have everything graded and turned in 1 week after the class ends. So I want to make sure that everybody has plenty of time to get this final exam completed. So again, it will lock on Friday, May 6th at 9 a.m. So this final exam is a combination of everything that we've been doing for this semester. You're going to have to complete something in Photoshop, something in Illustrator, and then put it all together in InDesign. A one-page article in InDesign. Okay, so I'm going to walk through how to do everything in each of the programs. I may break it up into 2 different videos depending on how long it takes, but it will be an explanation of what you need to do in Photoshop, an explanation of what you need to do in Illustrator, and an explanation of what you need to do in InDesign for the final exam. Each piece is worth different points. So if you only complete part of it, then you're only going to receive partial credit for the final exam. Okay. And also I want to remind everybody, please get the rest of your assignments turned in if you haven't turned them in yet. I do need to do the grading next week as well. So they make sure that everybody's grade gets turned in on time by my due date for the college of turning in grades. I don't want anybody to get I want to make sure that I get everybody's grade turned in on time. Okay, so again, it's the final exam, combination of doing something in Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Okay, so here is the final exam page in Canvas. There is a sample of the one-page article that you're going to be completing. You're going to be creating this light bulb, combining these 2 images, and then you're going to be drawing the fish here, and then you're also going to add the text here in InDesign. Okay, so this is an example. It doesn't have to look exactly like this, but there are some instructions that you have to do in Canvas to the text. Okay, so this is an example of what you're going to be completing. There is a folder here that you need to download. It includes the light bulb, the plant, the fish, and the text that you're going to be using for the InDesign portion of the final exam. Okay, and then here's the instructions. So you're combining the light bulb and the plant like we did with the composite image assignment. If you need refresher on that, refer back to those assignments and those lecture videos. If you need more instruction than what I'm going to show you here. And then in Illustrator, you're going to be opening the fish and you're going to use the pen tool to trace the fish. And you're going to optional, you can change the color, fill it in with orange. But right now I'm only looking for you to trace the fish and then save that file. And then you're going to place all of this stuff on the page in InDesign. Okay, so I'm going to start with Photoshop doing the light bulb. So I'm going to go over to Photoshop. And actually I need to expand that folder. So give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to File, Open. And I'm going to go to my desktop, Final Exam, and I'm going to open up the light bulb. And I'm going to open up the plant. Okay, so the light bulb is going to be your base image. And then you're going to transfer the plant image into the light bulb. Remember, there's two different ways to do it. You can either select all. So on the plant, select all, and then edit, not cut, oops, edit copy, switch over to the light bulb, and then edit paste. Okay, so that's the one method. The other method is to use your move tool. Hold down your mouse, and then you're going to drag up to the light bulb tab, I should say. When it's active, then come over here, drag your mouse down, and then let go. And the plant should be, the plant will then be placed in your other document, in the light bulb document. Okay, so then you're going to add a layer mask. So remember, that's the circle in the square down here at the bottom. That's going to add that additional thumbnail there. You're going to take your paintbrush and you're going to make sure that your foreground color is set to black. And then you're just going to come in here and you're going to start painting out the parts of the image that you don't want. Okay. And remember, painting with black hides part of the image. And if you take away too much of the image, then you can switch back, switch the colors using X on the keyboard. And then bracket keys will change the size of the brush. Okay. And then X or switch the colors there and go back in and remove parts of the image that you don't want. Okay. Now, right now, it doesn't quite look like it's sitting inside of the light bulb. So we're going to use the blending modes on the layers panel here. And you're just going to cycle through them until you find one that looks like the plant is inside the light bulb. So either like multiply, linear burn, overlay, soft light, but you want to make it look like it's actually sitting in there. So probably multiply is one of the better ones to use. But again, you can experiment with whatever ones you want. I did put in the Canvas assignment to change it to blending mode to multiply. But again, if you want to use a different one and have it come up with a different look, that's fine as well. But you do need to change the blending mode on that particular layer again, so it looks like the plant is inside of the light bulb. Okay, so then once you do that, you're going to save that. So file, save as, and you're going to put your last name in front of the light bulb. And it's going to save it as a Photoshop document because you have the two layers. I want to see the layers, how you created it. So you're going to upload the Photoshop document to Canvas once you've completed it. Okay. All right, so I will do that one more time. I'm going to close both documents. I'm going to go to File, Open. I'm going to open up the light bulb. I'm going to open up the plant. And then I'm going to use my move tool and I'm going to move the plant into the light bulb because the light bulb is my base image. So I'm going to hold down my mouse, drag up to the light bulb tab until it's activated, and then move my mouse back down into the light bulb, let go. And you may have to reposition the plant a little bit using the move tool. Add your layer mask, select your paintbrush, and then just start painting out the areas of the plant that you don't want. Okay. So it looks like it's sitting inside of the light bulb. And again, you can remove as much of it as you want. The way you want it to look is up to you. Okay. And then you're going to adjust your blending mode. So again, either multiply, darker color. Again, it doesn't matter which one you use. But it should kind of look like that the light bulb, the plant is coming inside of the light bulb like it is here. Okay. Then once you're, excuse me, once you're done with that, sorry. Once you're done with that, you're going to save that. Add your last name to the file name, save that. Okay, and then this, once you're done with everything, you're going to upload this to the assignment page. Okay, and then you're going to go over to Illustrator. And you're going to open up. You're going to open up the fish. So the fish.ai, you're going to open that up. And you're going to use the pen tool to trace the fish. Okay, so the dotted line that you see here is what you're going to trace. You can fill the shape in or the fish in with color if you choose. It's not mandatory, but it will be an extra couple points if you do. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my layers and you're going to see that layer 1 is the template. You can't do anything on that layer because it's locked, but I have included a draw here layer, so that's where you're going to start drawing on. Okay, so you're going to select your paint, not your paintbrush, your pen tool. So that's the P, if you press P on the keyboard, and you're going to draw the shapes first. So you're going to draw this shape, and then this shape. And then this, the eye and the mouth will be the last ones that you draw, because remember, the things you draw, the order in which you draw them is the order in which they appear on the page. So whatever's farthest back in the shape is what you're going to draw first. And then everything else on top of that, like the eyes and the mouth in this case, you will draw in order that way. Okay, so then you're just going to kind of decide on this fish where you want to start. Remember, you're going to hold down your mouse, click and drag to make your direction handle. And you're going to have that rubber band that comes from that anchor point. And that rubber band is going to show you where the line is going to be. Okay. And I just realized that I forgot to turn off my fill. So I'm going to come over here and click on the red line that says none. And now when I continue drawing around here, then I can see the rest of the drawing underneath there. Okay. Now it doesn't have to be exact. I'm just looking to see that you're drawing with the curved lines. And then the same thing on these other pieces. You decide where you want to start on them. And on here, even so you don't see this piece here, go ahead and draw it like you do. Or you can, follow it along on here if you want. So again, I'm just looking to see that you know how to draw a curved line if you need to, how to convert the line, if it needs to go a different direction, if you need to remove the direction handle. Like that. And then come back to that first anchor point. And then I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And I'm going to draw the mouth. Okay. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to see that you have the concept of drawing a curved line. And if you need to make it a straight line and so forth. On this one, it's mostly curved lines. So you won't necessarily need to do a straight line. Okay. I'll just go around and make your curved lines. And then again, if you want to fill it with color, you're going to use your selection tool, the arrow, and you're going to click on the shapes, the lines. You're going to go to your properties panel. You're going to click on the fill, and these are your default swatches. So you can pick one of those. If you want to fill it with orange or you want to fill it with whatever color you want, you can. I gave the suggestion of orange, but you can fill it with whatever colors you want. Okay. And then the last piece is the mouth. And there's your fish. Okay. So then you're going to save this. Let me see here for 1 second. Okay. All right. So then you're going to save this. So save as. And you're going to put your last name with the fish. So your last name, then fish. Save that. Okay, this. And then that's it for the fish. Okay. So I'm not going to trace it again. You can watch this part of it a couple times if you need to. Also, you can go back in and review the other videos when we were doing the pen tool assignments, the lecture videos for that if you need to. So then once you're done tracing this, you can go ahead and close that. And then you're going to move over to InDesign. Okay. So in InDesign, you're going to create let me go back over to Canvas. You're going to create a new document with the following settings: 8.5 by 11 inches. Make sure that make sure you change the units to inches to correctly create this page size. Because if you don't do that and you leave it at the default of picas and you go ahead and create yourself an 8.5 by 11 document, it will probably be a small tiny document if you do not change those units of measurement to inches. It will be a small document. Okay, so I'm going to go over to InDesign and I'm going to create a new document or a new file. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here where it says units. I'm going to change that to inches. And it's going to switch over to 8.5 by 11 because that's the last page size that I created. Excuse me. But if you were working on something else here in InDesign, it's going to keep that same page settings that you were working on from before. So you're going to go in and change this to the dimensions. So in this case, it's 8.5 by 11, 1 page, 1 column, and your margins are going to be, 2 columns, excuse me. So you're going to do 2 columns. And your margins are going to be half an inch, excuse me, a half an inch all the way around. Okay. You can click the preview button here. And it will show you in the background what your document looks like. That needs to be 0.1667. Okay. All right, so 8.5 by 11, 1 page, 2 columns, and your margins are 1/4 of an inch. Then I'm going to click create, and there is my blank page. Okay, and I have given you a sample here in Canvas. Again, you don't have to place the images the way, or the text the way I have. You can do it however you want. But you need to have those 3 elements on the page. You need to have the text, you need to have the light bulb, and then you also need to have the fish somewhere on the page. Okay, so once you've created the document, you're going to place the light bulb and the fish onto the page, and then you're going to place the earth text onto the page. You're going to select all of the text, and then you're going to format the text as follows. So all of the text is going to be 12-point Arial. And then the headline is going to be 16 points bold. And we're going to center that, change the color of the text to green. The subhead, we're going to do Arial bold italic at 14 point. And then the rest of the text is going to say 12 points, Arial 12 points. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to InDesign, and I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to go to my desktop where I saved the images. I'm going to place the light bulb first. I'm going to click Open. And once you click open, you get the little thumbnail icon showing you what you're placing. And in this case, it's the little light bulb. You are going to tell InDesign how big you want this image to be. So you're not going to just click the mouse and place it. You're going to hold down your mouse button, and you're going to click and drag, and you're going to tell InDesign how big you want that light bulb to be. And then you're going to position it wherever you want on the page. Remember to stay away from the middle here when you get this target. That will allow you to move the image around in the frame, but it doesn't move the frame itself. So you want to be on the edge of the image to be able to move it around. So on that blue line that you see, or the guideline around the bounding box, that's where you want to grab the image to be able to move it. Okay. And then I'm going to click anywhere in the gray area to make sure that I deselected everything. So I don't want to place the next thing in there and it disappears. So then I'm going to go to the File menu. I'm going to go to Place. I'm going to select the fish and then click Open. And then I'm going to click and drag to add my fish. And that's a problem there. Okay, so let me see here. Give me 1 second. Oh, that's the problem. Okay, I selected the wrong fish. So you're going to go to File, Place, and you're going to make sure you select the one that has your last name attached to it. The regular fish one is just going to have the template. There's nothing there. Okay, so make sure you select the one that has your last name on it, and then click Open. And then again, you're going to tell InDesign how big you want that image to be. So you're going to click and drag. and then place that image where you want it. Now, I may have to make either one of the images, I may have to make the light bulb a little bit smaller, depending on how much of the text is. I might not have enough room. So if I have to do that, I'm going to use the free transform tool, which is E on the keyboard. And then you're going to hold down your shift key when you do that to resize that, that frame. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and click anywhere in the gray and the pasteboard area, which is this gray area to the left and the right of the page. Then I'm going to go to File, Place. I'm going to select the earth.txt. Click Open. And if you get this dialog box, just click OK. You're going to get another thumbnail icon showing you that you have text ready to be placed. And again, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to hold down your mouse, click and drag to make your text frame, and place it wherever you want on the page. And it looks like it's small enough, or the text is going to only fit in that little space, so I don't have to move the image around, resize the images or anything. Okay, so we're going to format all of this text to the same font, and then we're going to change the size and the style of the header, the date, and then the subhead. So this is the header, this is the date, and then this is the subhead. So I'm going to take my type tool, select my type tool in the toolbox. I'm going to click anywhere in the text. So you get the little blinking cursor. You're going to go to the edit menu, and you're going to go to select all, or Command or Control A. You're going to come over to your properties panel. You're going to go down to character. You're going to click on the pop down menu for all the fonts that are on your computer. And you're going to scroll until you find Arial. I have quite a few fonts on my computer, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer. Okay, so you're going to find Arial, which is right here. And remember, any font that has a number in parentheses behind it, that means that there's multiple styles associated with this particular font, which is good because we're going to do bold and then bold italic on something else. So those are just the different styles associated with this particular font. Okay, so the headline, which is Earth Day 2022, we're going to make that 16 points, centered, and green. So we're going to change the font size right here to 16 point. So on the pop down menu, 16 points doesn't show up there. So you're going to highlight that, put 16 in there, then press your tab key to apply it. Then we're going to come down here on the paragraph panel, and we're going to click the second button, which is the center button. You do not use the space bar to center your text because it never is a true center of your page, because it changes depending on the font that you're using, the size that you use, the style that you use, and it also depends on if you have to resize your text frame at some point. It will change where the center point is of that particular block of text, or those couple lines of text. Then we're going to change the font style to bold. And then we're going to click on the fill up here, and you're going to change it to green. Okay, so Arial, bold, 16 point, centered, using the paragraph alignment button. And then you're going to, excuse me, change the color to green. Then the date. Oh, actually, I missed part of it. Okay. So this is also the April 23rd, 2022 Summit Park Blue Ash. That's also included in that. So we're going to change that to bold, change it to 16 point. And then we're going to center that one as well. And then we need to change that to green. Okay, so there's your header, headline, your subhead, which is the 52nd anniversary of Earth Day. We're going to highlight that. And we're going to change that to 14 point, bold, italic, and then that's also going to be centered. And we're not going to change the color on that one. And then the rest of the text here is going to stay as Arial regular 12 point. Okay. Yeah, so Arial bold for the headline, you're going to change it to green and 16 point. The 52nd anniversary of Earth Day is going to be bold, italic, and 14 point. And then the rest of the text, the body text, is going to stay as 12 point Arial. Okay. Again, you do not have to place the images exactly like I have. You can put the fish at the top, the light bulb at the bottom, make them as big as you want. But you just have to remember that all of the elements need to fit on the page somehow. Okay. And then you're going to format the text according to those specifications that I put in Canvas on the Canvas page. And then when you're done with this, you're going to do File, Save As. It's going to be your last name and then Final Exam. And then in Canvas, you are going to upload. So let me change this to student view. So you're going to upload. You're going to upload the final exam, the InDesign document. You're going to upload the fish with your last name. And then you're going to upload the light bulb with your last name. Okay. So you're going to do all three of those files to receive full credit, because I need to see the InDesign document. I need to see how you drew the fish, and I need to see what you did with the light bulb, the steps that you did with the light bulb, to make sure you follow the steps correctly for each of those. Okay. Then once you've uploaded those three files, you're going to do submit assignment, and then it'll give you a confirmation that you uploaded those three files. Okay. So again, this is the final exam. You will have a week to complete it. I have locked the file, locked the page. We'll lock on Friday, May 6th at 9 a.m. So you have, like I said, again, you have a whole week to complete it. Take your time on it. I want to make sure that you have, you're going to have plenty of time to work on it and get it done. If you do have any questions about anything, I'm going to make a final exam discussion board where you can post any of your questions there that you may have about this. And then again, like I said, go back and review the videos, the lecture videos that I did for each of those different sections. For the Photoshop one, you're going to go back to the composite image or basic photo masking lecture. And then you are going to go back to the pen tool lectures for the Illustrator part of it. And then again, review any of the InDesign lectures that I've done the last couple weeks. If you need a refresher on something else for the for the InDesign portion of it. Okay. All right, so I will be posting a final video next Friday, just to make sure everybody gets everything turned in. I will put a couple notifications or announcements up this week as well. I want everybody to do well in this class, so please get your assignments turned in as quickly as possible. I know I didn't put a due date on any of the assignments, but again, next week is the last week of the semester, so you have time to do the final exam, and then you also have time to get the rest of your assignments turned in. But if there is some reason why you can't get them turned in, please let me know, and I will try to work with you as much as possible. But everything does need to be turned in by next Friday. Okay. So again, this concludes the final exam lecture. Again, if you have any questions, email me and I will get back to you as soon as possible with your questions. Okay. All right. You guys have a good weekend, and I will touch base with you again sometime this week.